working on other stuff here as well. Yeah.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Welcome, everyone, to another conjoined Casa de 18 and Noah Foster, the Jeff Meacham Network, and the Rage of Wrestling YouTube joint video. We came up with an idea here, so we're going to go ahead and predict what we think is going to happen with each title, well, each of the major championships in each company. So we thought this would be something unique to do instead of as what we usually do with the top 10 thing. So JJ and Noah, thanks for joining me. I know you guys are busy with the Backlash thing. So how are you guys doing? I know your voices must be tired now.
I'm just still trying to catch my breath. Backlash was an amazing show, and then I ran my daughter home, got back as quickly as I could. I literally took me 30 minutes to get gas, take her home, and get back. People may think that was quick, that I was speeding or whatever. May have gone a little over the speed limit, but it wasn't anything astronomical. 55, 60 and a 50, not huge. It's not like I was doing 80, 90, I just happened to get lucky and hit no traffic lights, really. So
that's good. Noah, how are you doing?
Doing well. I mean, again, Under Siege and Backlash are both in the books. Now my voice gets a short reprieve until freaking NJ Resurgence next weekend. So it was nice to take a short nap, get a bite to eat, and then do the graphs. Nice job, by the way, everybody. You all got a perfect score. First time ever in Team No DQ history.
Everyone got a perfect score?
Everyone said the same damn thing.
Wow.
That was the thing about Backlash, is it was so predictable, but predictability isn't always a bad thing. It was still a phenomenal show.
It was.
And no, we're not going to pipe in the France crowd doing the little chant-along every time I say phenomenal. That would be a little bit too extra, but yeah, it was a phenomenal show. Every match delivered. There were a couple like little spots, there was like some slip-ups, but it could have just been nerves performing in front of that raucous crowd.
Yeah, crowd took over. Let's just be honest here. That crowd took that show over and made that show why it is so much to be talked about. It was really fun, though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. Any one-on-one match, there were four people. There were the two competitors, the ref, and the crowd. Let's be honest.
That's fair.
Accurate.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Each of our ideas. So Noah, I'm gonna go ahead and start. You're an advocate of the women's division, so
damn it.
I'm gonna start over on the TNA. I'll show a picture here for a second, but we're gonna start with Jordynne Grace. We're gonna start about TNA Knockouts champions. Who do you think defeats her? And when do you think she'll lose that title?
Well, they already did Ultimate X, so I kind of ruled that out. But I know the Call Your Shot Gauntlet's how Jordynne Grace got back to the championship. So I almost want to see that same situation for another prominent knockout. So I would think that the next challenger to maybe be the one to defraud her would be at Bound for Glory. And then you look at the TNA Knockouts landscape where, again, I don't know where Killer Kelly is at right now, but she has first bout somebody I want to see ascend to that next echelon. While Maja Slam has been to that dance before, but has never achieved it. Steph Delander, the newest face on the scene. I look at the promise and the potential of this Knockouts division, and I think about who you can make a big singles deal out of versus who right now is a tag team. Xia Brookside is that plucky underdog, the youngest competitor I think that has the most upside, and I think I'd like to see her try and take a chance one-on-one against the Juggernaut. So I'm holding out based on the current landscape for Xia, but I would love to see Killer Kelly and Jordynne Grace mix up for that title and Killer Kelly become the champion.
All right. JJ, you agree or disagree?
Xia Brookside is a good call. You know who we haven't seen for a while, Noah? And I don't know if it's because of contractual or whatever, but where has Giselle Shaw been? She's been kind of just laying low in the cut. We haven't really seen her. I think it may be Giselle Shaw.
Her last chance that she had was literally against Jordynne Grace. To your point, at No Surrender, took the Juggernaut to the limit, but again, she failed and she has been MIA since. And ironically enough, we are returning back to Canada for Slammiversary. You may be onto something.
I mean, and then as much as I can't stand the gimmick, you got to figure Ash by Elegance has got to be in the running here as well. You know, if she truly is going to be the timeless Dana Brooke, the timeless Tony clone that we claim her to be, give her the belt just like Tony has right now.
Well, again, she still needs to get over the one loss that she has in her record to Zaya Brooks said before I even put her into the name championship contention. As far as I'm concerned, Zaya's got more of a chance than Ash by Elegance. So, but we'll see.
But with things like your call the shot gauntlet, all it takes is a sneaky victory there, and she's right back in contention.
Ding ding.
So,
so what's your final answer, JJ? Who do you think is going to actually?
My official entry is Giselle Shaw, but I was throwing Ash out there as a potential to keep an eye on also.
And my official is, again, there's like 4 key names, and I'm just looking at who's currently available and who hasn't been there yet, and who I think are taking it in a different direction. I'm going to go with, if they roll on with her, Zaya Brooks side, but I'm holding out for Killer Kelly and the returning, also injured, by the way, Mudda FN represent Ohio, Kylan King.
Okay.
But I'm going with Zaya officially.
I'm surprised you didn't all think that the system would just get this title and we'll get the system really would have like every single title.
No need now, because Alicia Edwards became half of the Knockouts Tag Champions last night at Under Siege. So the system does have titles
and
all across the board. Yeah, and they have the unlikely alliance with Masha Slamovich for the time being.
Yeah, because as long as Masha has that goal, she may not be part of the system, but I think she will at least trust the system for now.
There you go.
Well, JJ gave me an idea, and just so that we're not on all 2 people gave the same answer, I'm going to say Ash is my official one. I just think they're going to go ahead and do it. She's going to somehow cheat her way to that title, whether it's for Bound for Glory or which event they do it. I think so little of her. You might as well do it on a Thursday during a random TNA. But Jordan herself deserves better, so you have to do it on a pay-per-view. But I think like Ash would win on a random thing, and then she can get it back. Jordan can get it back, but I don't want to hot potato that because you're already doing that with the knockout tag titles already. So I don't want to see 2 different damn TNA titles, especially involved in the women getting hot potato. So I'll say Ash for my main pick.
Okay.
Fair.
So, moving on. Let's sticking with TNA. We got Moose there, who is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So, let me remove that. Give me a second here.
It's an old picture of Moose.
Yeah,
that's old school. That's an old school. But I was just trying to find something.
Moose shames you for using that picture of him.
Moose forgot about that identity for a reason.
Yeah, there's a reason he gave up that. But I mean, obviously, with the way the pay-per-view went yesterday, I mean, obviously they're going for the broken Matt Hardy's going to eventually get a one-on-one title shot. I think they build that. Now, does he win here is the problem. Like, I can't really, it's hard to predict like when Moose is going to lose this title because he hasn't had it that long. So like for me, do you really broken Matt Hardy just came back? And if you believe the rumors, he's not even committed to TNA. He's on like believe in rumors, take this with a grain of salt, but per appearance kind of he's not officially signed with TNA. So, I mean, I'll say just to put it out there, broken Matt Hardy, but I think he has to sign an official deal first so we can get that. But what say you, JJ? It's hard, right?
No, it's not that difficult. It's just it comes again down to hot potatoing because I know who I want the next champion to be, but it's a heel. And you're not going to go from a heel to a heel. You got to get that face buffer in between. So I'm going to say the next champion, despite his loss at Rebellion, is going to be Nick Nemeth. But mark my words, Bound for Glory, the king of TNA will ascend to his throne.
Knew he was gonna go there.
Because if Frankie doesn't get the belt back, then why the hell did he come to TNA?
Exactly.
I mean, because he's never been a world champion anywhere. So if Frankie doesn't get the belt, he may as well have stayed in freaking lower mid card hell in AEW, getting paid more money. You know, so it's like you got to give him that title. And Bound for Glory sounds like the type of, first of all, it's one of their two big shows. You know, I always think of Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, but it's like you think about him now calling himself the king of TNA. The kings are bound for glory.
What's the king without his crown? Just saying.
So, but like I said, we've got to get a baby face for him to take it off of. So officially, Nick Nemeth.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself, but I didn't want to go with the obvious as the first answer because I knew one of you were going to say that. So I was like, let me try to be a little different because I knew Nick Nemeth was kind of the easy choice. Like he didn't win on his first one, but he's going to build himself back up to get that title shot again. But what say you, Noah?
Well, I do think Nick Nemeth has huge potential to be the TNA World Champion if he's as committed to TNA as it sounds, although he's already a champion in two other companies, New Japan Pro Wrestling and AAA, as we know. Although I haven't watched Untaku today, so that could have changed. I hope not. But that being said, I'm actually staying within long-term TNA and going up against somebody else that you highly regard. Even though he's in a different setting, doesn't mean that setting could be long-standing, especially if someone has an injury or a travel issue. I'm holding out to see if Speedball Mike Bailey becomes the TNA World Champion. He's already been a defining name in the X Division, two-time recognized by the fans, TNA X Division Superstar of the Year. And again, if Bound for Glory, if Call Your Shot Gauntlet favors Speedball, where I do think the Call Your Shot Gauntlet defines a future World Champion. I'm just calling it right now. I think Speedball Mike Bailey has a huge chance to surprise all of us, and who could be the one that takes down the system. I'm holding out for Speedball, but I do think that he and Frankenstein will cross paths again because when Frankenstein came back, he beat Speedball Bound for Glory for the X Division Championship to cash in option C, and then he lost Josh Alexander at Overdrive. But I'm holding out for Speedball Mike Bailey.
And with that thought process, I could see Speedball being the one to dethrone Kazarian. And then running that long-term story back.
Ding, ding.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense. All right, so moving on, sticking with TNA, the last title we have for TNA, we're going to go with Mustafa Ali's X Division title. Now, this one is the one that's a little hard to predict because he's, 251-0 right now since coming back. He's undefeated.
51 days, 8 months, unblemished on his global campaign outside TNA included, by the way. Undefeated.
And he's done one hell of a run. You talk about somebody doing a 180 from their gimmick and getting popular. And that match he put on last night, which, by the way, you can see me and Noah call that on demand on any of our channels, the Casa de 18, the Jeff Mitchell Network, my channel, all of us, they're on demand. That was a hell of a call and hell of a fun to do with you, Noah. Simply Reliable made their debut with TNA.
It definitely won't be a one-off, my friend. I think you found your new home in TNA alongside the Phila and James Impromptu. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it definitely was a pleasure. But we're gonna go with the X Division. So let's start here with JJ because I know this was a little hard to predict. But what do you think we're gonna go with JJ?
Sure, he's got the original X Division title behind him.
Exactly why I went with it first.
You know, I feel like this is the year not of nothing, but of something.
Something!
I have a feeling that Rebellion wasn't it for Jake something. There's just something, and I take a shot every time Renegade says something, but I feel like there's just something about him that is gonna make him the guy to take down Ali, especially with the whole, he's too big to be in the X Division. But of course, longtime fans of the X Division know it's not about weight limits. It's about No Limits.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with Jake something here, but since come Rebellion, Noah got his wish also. Could we possibly believe in a new X Division champion in Joe Hendry as well?
Yes, I believe.
But Jake something is my official choice, Walter.
All right. Yeah, can't we believe it, Joe? I mean, last night was just so much fun.
No, freaking Impact on Thursday with him doing the rock concert, basically taking us back to all his diss tracks on AJ Francis and what are they called?
Diving.
I keep wanting to call him Top Flight, but that's freaking AEW. First Class, thank you.
Yeah.
But then for him to break out Creed and do his take on Higher, can you please get fired? I was like dead over here.
Yeah. Oh my God, I fell on my chair laughing. And I love Creed. I listened to Creed verbatim.
Yeah.
I was just listening to Sacrifice yesterday. And
you know what? Slight sidebar, Creed and Nickelback both don't deserve a lot of the hate that they get.
They don't. They really don't.
I never understood what the Nickelback hate is. I think it was just cool to say you hate them and people jumped on that bandwagon. That's what I think it is.
People will do anything to be the favorite.
The thing with Nickelback, and I want to try and reel this back, the thing with Nickelback is that for a minute there, a lot of their songs sounded exactly the same. And I think that's where the hatred came from. It was like, okay, let's just remove the vocals, leave the backing track, and put new lyrics over it.
That's most music today, though. I mean, hello, what's original anymore? I'm just saying.
But yeah, so Jake something.
All right, no. Let's say.
And in honor of today, something, dark side.
Yeah, may the fourth be with us all. So Noah, what say you?
Well, that was quite something there, and I do think Jake something is destined for something. I just don't know what and when. But again, the beat of the X Division. Again, it is not defined by limits. There are no limits, and why Mustafa Ali is the most motivational political figure right now in America. I kind of want to see Joe Hendry take this to a different direction, even though I think he should be in a world championship. But there's nothing right now concerning him being involved in that picture. I mean, again, Rich Swann is also a former X Division champion, so I'm sure when they get through that feud, and he's also former TNA world champion, that will put Joe Hendry even further ahead. But you look at the current landscape of TNA and Goofa. It's kind of all over the place as far as who could be the next guy to be the face of the X Division. It's got to be somebody that either outsmarts, outshine, outclevers, or outmotivates Mustafa Ali. And looking at the current landscape in TNA, I have to go with Joe Hendry. I think it'd be the first way to move Joe Hendry forward, and I can see Joe Hendry using option C with a heartbeat. It also might be interesting to see Joe Hendry take that a different direction. So I'm holding out, and Joe Hendry. I believe Joe Hendry becomes a singles champion this year and potentially the next X Division champion. To be different, I'm going with Joe Hendry.
Yeah, Joe Hendry was mine too. I know the last one I said I wanted to be different, and you go trying to have each of us have our own. But yeah, I gotta have to go with Joe Hendry and agree with you, Noah, there, because the momentum he has with the songs and everything, and just imagine how he turns it up a notch as a champion and make songs. Maybe he make a song even just about himself. Like, it doesn't have to be about his opponent or talking trash. It could just be about the fact that he won the damn title.
He already made a song about himself. It's called I Believe.
Yeah, I was going to say it's his theme song, which is like number 6 on the UK charts.
Yeah, we got to get that to number 1, people. What are we waiting for?
What the hell are you listening to? Young Punks, Taylor Swift, some other dumb nonsense? What are you listening to?
Most likely. Well, there's with the rap, there's a beef going on with Drake and Kendrick. So that's probably what everybody's listening to right now, to be fair.
They're both still relevant? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
More relevant than you think. All right.
Well, again, what do I know?
Moving on. See, people, I don't know what this thing is that we all hate, this rumor that we hate AEW. We're going to talk positive, but we're going to move on to AEW here.
He ain't AEW. Who the hell are you talking to?
Whose
house?
People think that we hate AEW for real. Just because we say that there's better ways to book them doesn't mean we hate it. As a matter of fact, think of it.
There's hate, and then there's constructive criticism. Use your brains, people, for the love of God.
That's the problem. And in 2024, people mix the two. They don't think you can
that's fair.
Give criticism without hate. And the fact is, if we hated it, we wouldn't care and give you guys our opinions on it. It's the fact that we love professional wrestling and we want to see it do well that we give our opinions on how we can do better. But with Swerve, there's a lot of chances. Like, he just got this title. So, like, how long is this reign? But I'm going to say he hangs on to it for a while. Depending on, there's a rumor whether MJF actually needs the surgery or if he's going to rehab. So, my original choice was the MJF return. But then again, I don't know how long he's going to be out. For the proverbial, how long? Like, is it another year? Is it so? I don't think Swerve will hold on to that for that long. So for AEW to give it the title, I think it goes back to, I think Adam Cole is going to eventually get this title, and I think that somehow there's going to be a resurgence of his group, and it won't make sense for him to lead this group without the damn World Heavyweight Championship, because it's like, you can't even get this title. How are you going to lead us? And when we're the ones that have tag titles, the trios championships, we're the ones winning the title. You lead us and you can't get to the title. So eventually, I know it doesn't look like they're heading in that direction right now, but I'm actually going to say Adam Cole somehow gets into the title picture if he can walk. Now, we already saw him getting out of the wheelchair. So if this is hinging on if he's actually medically clear, sometime maybe 3-4 months from now, he's going to get it. But, of course, we're going to England pretty soon, right? They're going to London, right? Yep. Who's from London is on the up and rise right now? Will Ospreay. Yeah. So do you give it in London? Do you do Will Ospreay versus Swerve and give it to Will Ospreay? But my official pick will be Adam Cole. But Bebe, we forgot to do the Bebe after we say his name. It's like,
well, it's been a while since we've seen him on our screen, to be fair. And he hasn't been able to do that because he was in a wheelchair.
Exactly. So I say Adam Cole, baby, but Noah, what say you?
Damn. That's the thing about AEW. Again, we still have so much untapped potential in crowning another first-time champion, because I do believe it's another first-time champion. And you think about the potential names that you could see with that title. Konosuke Takeshita is somebody that screams champion at some point to me in AEW. Adam Cole, it does make a lot of sense considering the devil leads by example. Long-term storytelling. You run it back full circle if MJF comes back fully clear. But we also did have that tease face-to-face with Swerve and MJF. And preferably last year, MJF was the people's choice. He was the babyface. Now Swerve's in that spot. But I also think about Will Ospreay, who just arrived, but bruv, if you do not strap the rocket on this guy to lead this coming into the next stratosphere, what are you doing? It is extremely difficult to bet against Will Ospreay becoming the AEW World Champion sooner rather than later. He's got the mic skill, he's got the passion, he's got the professional wrestling acumen, and he's got that reach. And he gravitates and elevates everybody he's in the ring with. Part of me wants to say, well, Ospreay, but again, I don't want to see the World Championship just literally hot potatoed, overbooked, shot put. Again, JJ said it perfectly. Samoa Joe was the torchbearer. He was the passer to an original grown AEW. Swerve Strickland just took a little bit longer because you had to neutralize another outsider interference. But I think for me, I'm going to hold out and say that Swerve holds this for quiet duration. And I am going to say that Will Ospreay will be the guy to take it off him. But I don't think it will be at All In. In fact, I don't think it's going to be necessarily before the summer's end. I think Swerve's going to hold on to this for quite a bit. But I'm going to go with Will Ospreay for now, bro.
Yeah, I'm hoping he has a long title reign. Don't go through all that. What the hell he had to go through to get the title just to give him a short reign. I mean, I know people get tired of long reigns, but if anyone on that roster deserves a long reign, it's Swerve. I mean, he's been putting on some work. But anyways, JJ, what say you?
I agree about it being the aerial assassin, crowns up, but I disagree about the long title run for Swerve. I do think it's going to happen at All In at Wembley Stadium. You know, you figure Joe only had about a 4-month run. Swerve got the belt in April. August is 4 months from that. I think I know that I've kind of been back and forth teeter-tottering on this, but like I do like the long-term runs that we've been getting in the companies here as of recent, but I also feel there's such thing as too long.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find that happy balance, and you figure a 4-month run is pretty solid. 4 to 6 months. That gives you 2 to 3 world champions a year.
Yeah.
As opposed to 5 or 6 champions, or as opposed to 1 champion over almost 4 years.
Right. That's never going to happen again.
But I feel like that's a solid thing. And then if you have Ospreay lose it at World's End, and especially if he's going to keep being with the Callis family, you know, you're talking about building championships in the Undisputed Kingdom. Callis family needs some gold too. And especially since Powerhouse Hobbs is about to go out for surgery, they're losing their strength right there. They've got Kyle Fletcher with his title. And who's Fletcher's running buddy?
Will Ospreay.
Let's get that gold on him too. Sammy Guevara is out until who knows when. And then we can have Konosuke Takeshita get his championship. Whether it's the TNT title off of Adam Copeland, whether it's the international championship, whether it's the continental title, there's a lot of options there, and some of those belts we're not talking about. But that's why I just threw Takeshita up there. Like there's still a variety of belts that he can go after, even though he's the de facto leader of the Callis family right now. Ospreay gets that strap on his waist, and he's already got Fletcher by his side. Going to go to the moon, Cameron Grimes style, baby. So Will Ospreay at All In.
Oh man, if we get to call that, let's freaking go though, bro.
Yeah, you get that's good book. Yeah. Well, one of these companies should hire JJ. The way he books stuff. I don't know if you want that pressure though, because I know that writing room must be whew.
I thrive under pressure when it comes to that type of stuff. And I look at it from 2 different aspects. I look at it from the fan aspect, which is why I enjoy the lengthy title runs, because you want the titles to matter and mean something.
Yeah.
But you've also got to look at it from the business aspect. All In, Wembley Stadium, arguably the biggest international superstar in the world right now. Probably the only international superstar to ever rival Ospreay's popularity is Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog himself.
That's a fair
if we're
analysis.
Being real.
You're not wrong. That's a fair, very fair analysis. I agree.
And where did Davey Boy win the IC title off of Brett?
In the UK.
Wembley Stadium. SummerSlam 92.
So have Ospreay take the AEW title off of Swerve at Wembley Stadium.
I mean, yeah. Or imagine you give Okada a title shot in Japan at the Tokyo Dome and have him win.
Exactly.
If that happens, I swear I'm going to find a way to go to Japan. I'm going to tell you that right now. Seriously, I'm like, how am I missing all this? Anyway.
Well, I'm working on. My wife and I are working. My son, he's in the anime. He's studying like a lot of Japanese culture. We're trying to give him a graduation present. Work on the family going to Japan next year. So no, if it happens, you may have to join our family trip just to be there.
I'll get my passport and I'll say. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep the train rolling here.
Yeah, funny. JJ mentioned it earlier while he was going on. So we're gonna have to go that route. We're gonna go to the TNA. Sorry, the TNT botch. Yeah, get that botch button ready. The TNT heavyweight. The TNT championship held currently. I was looking for the picture, but apparently I don't have it in here. Yeah, the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. So we'll start with JJ on this one. Who do you think wins the TNT championship?
I love Adam Copeland. He doesn't need to be champion anymore at his age.
No.
I see him dropping the belt to Malachi Black. The House of Black has been playing some serious mind games with him as of late. I could see him dropping the belt to him at Double or Nothing. I mean, you've already got the numbers advantage with the House. Who's going to have Cope's back is the $1 million question to counteract the House. The House always wins.
You always bet on Black.
Malachi Black.
There we go. So Malachi Black for JJ. Noah, what do you say?
It's one of those things where I almost feel like it needs to be that because the House does always win. Look at their track record at Double or Nothing. I'm just saying. But that being said, if I'm going to be different and go a little further, I'm still holding out for an AEW original to finally win his first accolade in AEW, and I'm holding out for Daniel Garcia. If Edge falls to darkness and somehow gets through Malachi Black and becomes the more sinister, desperate, hungry, ultimate opportunist to cling towards this championship, then Daniel Garcia has a hell of a long-term story to be the guy that beats this man for it. I'm holding out for Daniel Garcia to become the new AEW TNT champion.
All right. Follow me. I'm going to go with JJ and Malachi Black, but let me do a little fantasy booking here. Let's talk about long-term storytelling. How about you build it up, right? You get Kill Switch to defeat Adam Copeland for this title. Kill Switch becomes a monster, dominates everybody. Christian gets his reunion. Christian gets a title shot against him. He beats the hell out of Christian. He turns on Christian, and what does it lead to in AEW? The reunion of Adam Copeland and Christian as a face tag team, and you can do it if you just use Kill Switch the right way to get this title off, become dominant, turn against everybody, and unleash him as a monster. You get sympathy for Christian in it, and then Adam Copeland has to save him, and then you finally do the reunion. Give them like a little tag team run at the end, and then they both can ride off into the sunset. But can Tony do that in his company? Can he book that correctly? That's the question.
It's a wild idea, but I do think at some point before Adam Copeland's done, I think we will get Adam Copeland and Christian Cage together because I do think the patriarchy will turn into an anarchy sooner rather than later. Everybody turns on their father eventually. Every child thinks that they finally can surpass their parent. I'm just saying. So I do think Killswitch does have a brain, and I do think that how many times has the handler of the monster lost control of his creation? I think you might be onto something though, Walter.
Yeah, but does Tony have that mind to actually do that? You got to have a lot of patience to make all those work. You got to have the right connected pieces to make that puzzle a whole.
True.
What do you think, JJ?
What was it? I missed that. I'm sorry.
That if you book it right and you get Killswitch to be the monster, get this title, you get Christian sympathy, and then you reunite Adam Copeland and Christian in AEW. You just got to do it the right way.
Yeah, definitely. I know that's where we're eventually going to because, Adam's daughter said that he wanted him to go and have fun with Uncle Jay. Mm-hmm. So we're eventually going to get that. The thing that sucks about it is that with Matt having left, and Jeff leaving imminent, we won't get another Edge and Christian Hardy's match, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the suck part.
I agree. Damn it.
Although, depending on how long Jeff lasts, can we get a trios run for EC and Jeff Hardy?
Hey.
That would be a hell of a trios run just for shits and giggles, man, for all of us old school fans.
You might be onto something there.
Did you have a unified trios division? And hey, these three men define TLC to the extreme. It's not too far fetched.
It's not at all. But let's move on. I'm gonna go back to JJ to do this because let me get the picture here. But we're gonna go. I mean, this one's kind of the most obvious out of all the titles we've done. I think we're all gonna be unanimous in what happens here. But
it sucks too because it's been way too telegraphed.
Yes.
It's been telegraphed since March, whatever, when she freaking debuted. Like, I feel bad for Willow. I really do. I love Willow.
Same.
I have been a fan of hers since I first saw her on my TV screen.
Bubbly
and
smile.
And all our channels because of open mic night and whatnot. I hate to say it, but Willow would not be where she is today if Mercedes hadn't gotten injured at Resurgence last year.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, Willow was nothing more than an AEW jobber. It was because Mercedes got injured, because they had to call the audible, because Willow walked out of there the first New Japan Strong Women's Champion, that Willow began getting a push because Tony is all over the stuff AEW or New Japan does, and we'll just leave it at that. I was going to go a little bit meaner about it, but let's call it. Tell me when I'm telling lies, Noah.
Yeah,
tell me when I'm telling lies.
People watching the Casa 18 Studios. You might as well super chat $25 and JJ will go off on that rant.
I'm trying not to do that because I don't want us to go 3 hours today, Walter.
Yeah, about to say we got a lot still ahead, so keep going.
But so because Tony follows New Japan, because he does a lot of stuff New Japan does, that's why Willow began getting the push. And right after Resurgence, she won the Owen Hart tournament. She began this thing with Sky Blue and Statlander, which has kept her prominent throughout.
Yes.
Now she's the TBS champion. But she's going to lose it to Mercedes because she was never supposed to win the New Japan Strong Women's title. She's going to drop the belt to Mercedes because Mercedes was supposed to beat her all along. This is what we call in the business, folks at home, long-term story telling. And you may be sitting there and be like, but Mercedes only debuted in March. It's May. That's only 2 months. How is that long-term? Because it goes back almost a year to Resurgence last year. Almost a year to the day.
Think about it like this, JJ. Long term. The whole reason WCW hired the Ultimate Warrior back in the day was for Hulk Hogan to get his win back from WrestleMania 5. This is pretty much what they're doing with Willow and Mercedes. It's pretty much she was supposed to win that title to get Mercedes that win back to correct what happened in Japan.
Yep.
But I got a feeling this is going to be like Backlash, and we're like all going to have the same answer. We're cheating off each other paper. But you wanted to say something else, Jordan?
I mean, if it's not going to be Mercedes, if we all know that it will be, but if the only other option at this point, I think, would be Sky Blue.
Yes.
Or if we find out that the attack was who I think it was,
JJ's going in my mind. JJ's going in my mind. I know he's going to say
Chris
it.
Statlander gets the belt
Yes.
back.
Yes, Stokely and Stat. There's a reason why those two have been together, including those vignettes. There you see the subtle wait for the turnaround. I want to see Dark Stat versus Willow. Yes.
But I feel like we're going to get there once the belt gets to Mercedes. I have a feeling it's going to be Stat that costs Willow the title to Mercedes. And that's going to be the reveal right there, is because Stat costs Willow the match.
Apparently
That way
earlier,
Willow stays Willow stays a little bit strong in the fact that she was screwed out of the title.
Yeah.
Instead of turning her right back into an AEW jobber.
Yeah, and Noah, get ready for the pod. I think I said 5 earlier instead of 6 with the WrestleMania, but you guys knew what I was talking about.
We knew what you were talking about. That's why I didn't botch you. But yeah, you're right. But
all right, Noah. I said, I got the feeling it's all like Backlash. We're all in agreement, but go ahead. What's it?
He took the words literally out of my mouth. Okay, while we talk about AEW in a positive reprieve more constructively than we talk about, negative stuff, unless we talk about Tupa particularly based on personal history that we've learned and acknowledged. At the end of the day, we want AEW to succeed. How you succeed? You adapt, you evolve, you become more aggressive, you build more stories outside the title. It does seem as clear as day on paper that the next TBS champion right now will be Mercedes Moné. But what do you do with Chris Statlander, with Sky Blue, with returning Julia Hart? That now will we build? Because she's out on injury. I'm just saying. It just screams right now that you can't have an unbalance of too many baby faces and too many heels. And clearly right now, looking at this match coming up to Double or Nothing, Willow is the proverbial baby face. Moné right now is kind of calling herself a baby face, not necessarily claiming she's victim, but also a CEO is a boss for a reason. Also going to be a massive bitch. So I think it's clear as day that Mercedes Moné is going to win, but I almost don't want to see it happen during the match, JJ. I want the turn to happen afterwards. The embrace of her friend, standing by her no matter what. They went to Chuck E. Cheese together. And then Chris Statlander pulls the trigger with a steel chain wrapped up hand. I think that we're getting a post-match descent. But I definitely have Mercedes Moné become the next TBS champion. Although I do feel bad for Sky Blue, but hey, Sky Blue, she's already living in the moment, all right? Got her face in the truck. She's going to the extreme, and she freaking loves it. What a freaking match on Rampage, by the way. That was awesome. Good Sky Blue taking that bump for the barbed wire board into the table, too. Probably still getting unpinned from it. But yeah, it's Moné right now, and it's Sky Blue later. And I think Chris versus Willow is a thing to come as well, with Chris even darker than before.
Yeah, there's of course we're all gonna say Moné, but there's a couple of names, like there's a certain dentist we haven't seen in a while in AEW. I mean, could she come back and get this title?
Getting closer to coming back, so I've heard. I mean, again, when you have a compromised back, you honestly don't know if you can come back. And then there's also that negative mental pressure. But if Thunder Rosa can come back, I think Breaker DMD can also make a return. Now, whether or not she does that on her own or alongside somebody else. Hello, Rebel. Just saying.
You also have someone that you love. Long may she fucking reign here.
I see her further than this, though.
Yeah, if Britt is going to get into this picture and become the first AEW women's and TBS champion, I think the money match is Britt versus Mercedes at All In.
Which we would definitely call here in the Championship Network.
We're calling the show regardless, but yeah.
And to Emmanuel's point, she may be above the TBS championship, but considering there's not a whole lot of women's titles, for Britt to be able to say that she was the AEW women's champion, first winner of the Owen, and TBS champion, that's damn near like on her way to Grand Slam status.
Exactly.
They ever announce a tag team title for the women there, that would basically be Grand Slam status.
If they announce a women's Continental Classic, that's a whole nother accolade that Britt Baker could attend for.
And
so just think of it like that, Emmanuel. It's all about accolades for the DMD.
Yeah, we could say people are above a title, but how do you make a title relevant, make it important? You give it on that person and make sure they make it relevant. Then no one's above
exactly
a title.
why they're giving this belt to Mercedes. Because no disrespect to Stat, Julia, and now Willow, this belt hasn't been important since Jade lost it.
Yeah.
And giving it to Mercedes is going to elevate it back to that status.
Yeah. It's just business at the end of the day, and why each champion in the TBS title has to find it their own way. Mercedes Moné will bring more eyes to the letters TBS on Wednesday.
Exactly. Now we're gonna move on. I don't know if no one wants to do his little trick for what we're gonna talk about next, but we all know.
Well, I appreciate that.
He might want to go timeless here. But we're gonna go with the AEW Women's Championship here, and of course, timeless Tony Storm has this right here. There we go. Now, Noah, we're gonna jump right to you for this one. What do you think? Who's gonna win this title?
I'm only gonna say this one time and one time only. I'm a fucking hater for life. It was Double or Nothing last year that Jamie Hayter was ambushed by those outcasts that allowed Toni Storm to beat her, and I know it was right up due to her injury. But she also was due for her big moment in Wembley. If they do not create Jamie Hayter versus Timeless Toni Storm at All in Wembley Stadium, then I have no idea where they're going in this women's division. I have to believe that Jamie Hayter is the one to take the head off this freaking charlatan and bring this title back to full color with a strong dose of haterade. I gotta go with Jamie Hayter at this point. There's no one else besides
that. All right. Enough said for Noah. Noah has spoken. So
I think there's one other person beside that, Noah.
And who would that be?
The woman who Timeless Tony has wanted a match with for these last few months. Wendy Richter, damn it.
It's not gonna happen. They are not gonna Wendy Richter.
That needs to be the next match for real. Like whatever is between Double or Nothing and All In, it needs to be Tony versus Wendy Richter.
It'll be Toni Storm versus Mariah May or Mina Shirakawa before then, because we got Double or Nothing and the Forbidden Door. We have nothing in July. You know they're going to do
Forbidden Door. Do it there. How perfect. Wendy Richter and Toni Storm at the Forbidden Door. Book it. Damn it.
I'm going to freaking lose my mind if that happens.
It sounds like Tony Khan booking anyway. Noah, let's be real.
That's fair. I want Serena Deeb to be the one. It's the second time, Daniel, going after that Double or Nothing. But again, I'm learning, like JJ, to adapt to the mindset of both fan and business and long-term storytelling. Jamie Hayter, AEW original, huge favorite among the people, strong champion, had to relinquish it shortly due to an injury. Keyword, injury. That's the only reason she lost last year at Double or Nothing. I saw they were setting her up for friggin' All In. I could see it. She's from the UK, damn it. So it just feels like it has to be Jamie Hayter's moment. Gotta go with Jamie Hayter.
Yeah. What say you, JJ?
I agree. I feel like it's going to be Jamie Hayter. The only other thing that would make any kind of sense to me, and we've kind of not really seen her as of late, would be running Saraya back to really close the door on the outcasts. Can't do anything with Ruby. She's pregnant.
Congrats to her again.
You know,
Congrats.
When she comes back, maybe she'll finally get her moment of glory. Then all the outcasts can say that they've been AEW Women's Champion.
Good point.
But I would like to see, depending on what happens with Jamie and her injury, and when she's able to come back, I wouldn't mind running Tony versus Saraya back at All In also.
To be fair,
one-on-one.
Toni Storm, illustrious, faced Saraya. Timeless never faced her, and Timeless now is the champion, where Illustrious was the challenger. I recently watched that match from last year at Offer Stam. Isn't it crazy how time works, folks? So, to your point, JJ, that might be plan B if Jamie Hayter is not medically cleared. I pray to God that she is. But again, like I said, they've got to be teasing the seeds at Forbidden Door. It's got to be Mariah May or Mina Shirakawa that faces Timeless Toni Storm. Her child's going to turn on her eventually because there's no doubt in my mind Mariah May wants that spotlight. But I still say Endgame is Jamie Hayter. But there's a lot in between they can still do.
Yeah. But I think they're going to do something unprecedented. I think Mercedes gets the TBS title, then gets this title and unifies it. With the amount of money they spent on this woman, I feel like you're talking about people saying that Becky pulled the "it doesn't work for me" thing to get her title. I don't think she did that, but I wouldn't put it past Mercedes Moné to do this. So why not? You invested all that money. Why not unify this title and have her winning both and can say, I haven't been in this company that long, and I'm the first person to unify or hold both titles at the same time and make it feel important. But to make that work, you can't have her be face anymore. She's got to be a heel with both these titles, lean into that CEO gimmick, and just be the bitch that we know she can be.
She still needs to build a cabinet of supportive secretaries and special security, as far as I'm concerned. I know that she did reach out at one point to the idea of maybe the Renegades wouldn't be bad to have along my side. So if this whole CEO portrait happens, I guess it could be something. But look, they already unified the trios titles, which, let's be honest, that needed to happen. I don't think you need to unify the TBS and the Women's World Championship as of right now.
No, if you wanted to unify the Ring of Honor and AEW women's titles, that would be one thing.
Yeah.
Or even, I wouldn't because you just created, but I was going to say even the Ring of Honor women's TV title and the TBS title would be one thing, but you just created that title, so I wouldn't do that just yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's still way too young in its history. And right now, MIT still rules ROH. Athena, who's been unopposed by everybody in and out of AEW, ROH, and Japanese pro wrestler, being perfectly honest here. And of course, Billy Starks, the youngest individual almost in the entire Tony Khan ecosystem, just won her first title accolade. So yeah, let these titles cook, let them build. Let's see what happens. But seriously, Jamie Hayter, bring this title back to full color.
Let's move on to JJ's NXT, damn it.
Speaking of full color.
So let's go ahead and we'll start with who the current champ is, and that's Roxanne Perez, the NXT champion.
The prodigy.
Now, she just got this title, so we'll see how long her reign is. But JJ, what say you as to who wins this title?
Good luck, bruv.
Exactly.
I know. See, a lot of people have to remember that Roxanne Perez is essentially in the shoes that were supposed to be Cora Jade's.
I've been saying that for ad nauseum.
So have I. I'm repeating it for the viewers out there that because this is a Walter production, may not have heard this before.
That's fair.
Even though we are streaming on all our normal channels.
Yeah, right.
But this is supposed to be Cora Jade's run.
Yes.
So the obvious answer would be the person that's going to dethrone Roxanne is going to be Cora Jade. Once she's ready to come back, she would come back, basically get a babyface pop coming back from injury, unfortunately. And because Roxanne has gone full-blown heel, Cora's going to have to be the babyface in this rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we want babyface Cora. And therein lies the dilemma. You know, there is a bunch of women right now on the NXT roster that very easily could become women's champion. And that's why I love my NXT and why I proclaim, and Noah and Dattila have both co-signed with me, that it is the second best women's division in the States behind the Knockouts. Ava's going to tout it as the best, which I get. She's the GM. She's got to praise her brand.
Yeah.
But let's be real, the Knockouts are ahead of them. But you've got Fallon Henley, who just turned heel. You've got Thea Hale, that if she becomes women's champion, Noah has to buy a Chase U shirt.
Not gonna happen.
You've got Lash Legend, who could dethrone her and then become, a power couple with Trick, leaving the metaphor.
Oh,
That was in
Lord.
my head too. That was
You've
definitely
got
in my head.
Gigi Dolan, who, once she gets away from Ariana Grace and this beauty BS, could jump into that. You've got the up and coming Sol Ruka. You've got so much talent. And please, chat, don't start pointing out names that I didn't say. I realize there's a shit ton out there.
The chat's gonna try and overrun JJ.
He can't say
For
every
real.
damn name, otherwise
For
we'll
real,
be here for
because-
3 hours.
Seriously, plus
Like
these
20
two have to
women.
give their thoughts also. But I feel like the person that's going to take it is going to come out of nowhere. And with that mentality, because that's the best kind of victory you can give someone who's become as cocky and arrogant as Roxanne, is
Right.
to have it be the person you would least expect.
Right.
And for that, it comes down to me to two names. My girl, Thea Hale, and the true person who I'm actually going to pick here because I don't think anyone would expect it. Adriana Rizzo.
What?
So you can-
Whoa.
What JJ's going for-
Tony
I think
D'Angelo-
she truly would come out of nowhere.
The Tony
So-
D'Angelo financial advisor?
Yes.
But JJ's going for that 1, 2, 3 kid moment where Razor Ramon's all
Yes.
cocky. You don't expect
Yes.
Razor Ramon to lose the title, and then suddenly 1, 2, 3 kid beats him. Granted, that was money, not a title, but
But still, like,
yeah.
I feel like she's the type of person that everyone is gonna undervalue. Even you just sat here saying the financial advisor.
Exactly.
The fact that the name caught you off guard like that is exactly why I would book it that way.
Definitely.
Hey.
You set up yourself maybe not a tournament, but a battle royal or something leading into Heat Wave or maybe No Mercy. That way Roxanne can get a decent little run here.
Mhm.
And then you pull that trigger out of nowhere. Let her get a little bit of mixed tag action just to get a little bit of in-ring experience, or Iron Survivor.
That
There you go.
Deadline.
That actually, okay. There might be some merit to this now that I think about it.
I think someone's
Heavyweight
dog
champion.
even agrees.
Think about this, because Trick Williams literally came out of nowhere last year, as did Tiffany Stratton. It's not impossible for Rizzo to come out of nowhere.
Why not? Like I said, it worked before in the 90s with 1, 2, 3 Kid and Razor Ramon, to the point where he got a World Wrestling Federation Championship title match on Raw against Bret Hart. And that was one of the matches that I remember on Monday Night Raw as a kid.
Sleeper hidden
Yeah.
gems, to being perfectly
Yeah.
honest.
Now, one name I want to say before we go to, the only problem is what you said earlier. You can't go from heel to heel, but I think the women's champion written all over it. Lola Vice can get this title, but you can't do a heel versus heel and get it. You got to do some kind of triple threat, some kind of other kind of way where you have a baby face involved so that she can beat her. So my official pick will be Thea Hale, but I really want Lola Vice to have this. She's my mommy. People say
Oh, good Lord Almighty.
they call oh my God, why did I just
Rhea
lose my
Ripley.
whole train of thought? Rhea Ripley mommy, but Lola Vice is a real mommy, and she's a Latina descent, so she could really be mommy, but I don't want to be the TJS of my own channel, so I'll keep my personal thoughts alone, but I would love Lola to get a title, but again, like you said, you can't transition from heel to heel. It's not like it's never been done, it just doesn't make sense. You need that face to have the
buffer.
chance. Yeah, exactly. So what say you, Noah? My official pick would be Thea Hale, but I would love it if Lola Vice gets a title reign.
Well, Considering I'm recently getting back into the letters NXT more than ever because of the potential of this women's division in the quantity they have and the quality they are creating. Again, though, I've been saying ad nauseum. I don't think Skater Girl Cora Jade is somebody to take the title off heel Roxanne Perez. I'm just saying. But you gotta look at right now the landscape, and I'm trying to think of the actual baby faces they're trying to create there that could held this championship and have gotten that level of momentum, crowd favoritism, and connection like Trick Williams. There isn't that many there right now that I could think of. And with this brand new title coming into play, the NXT Women's North American Championship, where we're going to have everybody involved in a combine, I have no idea where to even begin, but I hate to say it, but again, I have to be unbiased. I gotta be fair in my judgment and honest. The only real babyface you have right now that truly has become a people's choice for the longest time, staying to her roots and beating out a toxic village, purging them possibly from Chase University, but everyone else has betrayed her. I gotta hold out right now for Fia Hill. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Fia Hill right now has the most realistic chance. She's been in the bands before. She's got that long-term storytelling, and maybe this time the professor will actually trust her to go on her own and actually survive, find a way to out-wrestle the Prodigy, and surprise us. So just based on what I'm looking at right now from the NXT product, the baby faces, the heels, the stories, the character developing, sure as hell I didn't agree on anything related to OTM. I gotta right now, especially since the person that faced her lost, I gotta hold out right now for the only real babyface connected to most of the audience right now. Also has not been injured or coming back from an injury, so there's no disconnect. It's hard to bet against right now. Fia Hill being your best chance. He is the ultimate babyface right now in NXT versus the ultimate self-hero heel right now in Roxanne Perez. So I've got to go with that.
Slowly but surely, JJ. We're getting to him, JJ.
Yep. You know, and it's funny, if Fallon hadn't just turned heel on Tuesday night, she probably would have been my answer.
Same. And like I said, spring breaking.
But she just literally turned heel, and like you said, we don't want it to go from heel to heel.
Yeah.
But I feel like if she had stayed babyface, they could have pushed Fallon to that spot.
We were holding out for Fallon last year at the deadline, and she got goose egg.
But to be fair, Lola taking it out of nowhere was beautiful too. Like, I can't even get mad at that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on. I know I've been doing the main championship, but I'm gonna defer to because even I am having trouble trying to think of who the hell is gonna dethrone this man because of became the most popular thing in NXT right now. He holds the title. He just got it. So, like, this is long-term booking. We got to think way ahead because I don't think there's any time soon that he's winning this title. So losing this title. So we're going to default to JJ first. But, of course, we're talking about the NXT Championship. Who the hell is going to whoop that Trick and actually beat Trick Williams and dethrone this championship? Because I don't see this happening for a long time. I think he's going to run NXT for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, this one is probably the hardest one to do because Trick just got it. So we haven't really seen any of the landscape change to who we could see as a potential.
Yeah.
So we're really shooting in the dark here on this one. But that being said, I do have two names going through my head. And once I discuss them, I will make my official pick. But going back to what I said about the NXT Women's Championship, if I'm believing in Rizzo to come out of nowhere, Tony D is overdue for his time to shine. He is the final person from that initial, group that is still in NXT from the 2.0. Grayson's moved on, Mello's moved on, Braun has moved on. Tony D is still there. And we all admit and acknowledge the fact that the D'Angelo family won't work on the main roster.
No.
Not in its current incarnation.
No.
They still got a lot of tread on the tires.
But you could do a 4 Horsemen and Evolution type of moment with them down in NXT and get Stax and Luca the tag titles, Tony D the NXT championship, and Rizzo the women's title. That's always a possibility of something you could pull. Or even over time add another male to become the North American champion. The other person I'm looking at is a generational talent. And I don't mean that in the way that it's generally used, and that this type of talent only comes around once in a lifetime, once in a generation. He is literally the spawn of the man who used to be in charge of NXT. I'm looking at Charlie Dempsey.
Ooh.
He's already got the Heritage Cup. And we've seen his abilities in ring grow exponentially just in the last 6 months. To the point where he was at Bloodsport X for GCW.
Yeah.
He's being allowed to go off brand and do big things in big moments to represent. I could see him being rewarded with the NXT championship. And I see the chat pointing out Obafemi. Definitely a strong contender here, but the fact that that dude basically went from breakout tournament to champion, I want to let him cook a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to let him define the North American title in a way that I haven't seen since Wesley and Carmelo Hayes.
And now we got Wesley back.
Yeah. I want to see, we talked about long-term title runs. I'd like to see Oba have that belt until Stand and Deliver next year. And just decimate all comers.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
And then maybe have an option C type of moment where he's like, I have destroyed everybody. I'm willing to surrender this to get a shot at the title. That way you still keep him strong, even if he loses the title match. Because nobody beat him for that North American title.
Just like Asuka never lost when she vacated the NXT Women's Championship.
And then you can even run it back at Spring Breakin' if he were to lose at Stand and Deliver. Since he never was beat, he could get the first shot at whoever is champion.
Yeah. Going off your theme of out of nowhere and someone who can actually take the heat, because we know whoever the hell is going to beat Trick is going to be booed the hell out of the building. Nobody's going to like him. He's going to forever become like the biggest heel ever. And I think someone who can actually take that on their back and become like this big thing because they're already kind of an asshole. Believe it or not, out of nowhere, if you build them right, put Lexis King. Okay. If you build it right, what do you think I was going to say?
Sweet baby Jesus. Elizabeth, I'm coming. I thought you were going to say Noam Dar for a minute. I was about
to log out this room. I would have disconnected from this feed. Hell to the no. I will go back to the forward frame that I thought I'd left buried. Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. I will say it.
Hell no. I would smack anybody who would say that. But no, if you really think about it, Lexis King can take that kind of heat. Like being the one to beat Trick, because they're going to be hated like a dictator or something. Whoever beats Trick, the crowd is gonna turn on them so bad. But I think honestly, Lexis King is the kind of character where he can take that heat and throw it back at him. So, like for me, I'm gonna say Lexis King, but that's just going with the Renegade's theme of out of nowhere people. But you got to build them right. It's going to take months. You got to do it right.
Well, look how long it took Trick Williams. It took literally about a year.
Yeah, exactly. So what say you, Noah?
Well, again, we're going in blind here, guys, because one, he just got it. Two, we know there's going to be constant changes to the NXT landscape. We're going to get a new influx of talent, obviously another breakout tournament. We're going to see new stars develop. And right now, again, look at the top single men scene. Who's there in it? We got grudge feuds with Ridge Holland and the freaking Sean Spears that are doing their own thing. We got freaking Noam Dar, who somehow still exists on our screen and didn't get rejected like TikTok should have been banned by the US. You got freaking Josh Briggs that's trying to figure out his own direction after falling short for the NXT North American Championship. Obafemi and Trick Williams sounds very interesting, but I don't want to see Obafemi challenge him as long as he's NXT North American champion. So again, you got to look at opportunity, ultimate loved, ultimate hated. Who's the guy that's the most obnoxious, annoying, booed out of the building that you could bring into NXT and create an identity out of? I do think Tony D'Angelo is a sentimental favorite, even he earned my respect after his match with Ilya Dragunov. So I think just because, like you said, because he is part of the last, he's the last one of the original class of this NXT roster horsemen to define themselves now to be part of the main roster. I think I got to hold out for Tony D'Angelo. Why he's making that, the Heritage Cup looks nice. I don't think he wants it at the end of the day. I think he still wants the NXT Championship. So I'm going to hold out and say Tony D, because there's something about the family where it's all about picking up business and leading by example. Sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And sometimes you have to be the guy that wears the proverbial black hat. Forget about it. So I'm just waiting for him to do this like the Virtuosa does. I love that. Even though she's from Jersey, she's still full-blood Italian. So I'm going to go with Tony D. I think Tony D gets it done before he leaves NXT. And I think Trick Williams will unfortunately be the guy that is sleeping with the fishes. Go with Tony D.
All right. JJ, was Tony D your official? I know he was one of your picks, but did you officially say Tony D?
Yeah, I'll officially go with Tony D here since I'm trying to build the family up to be Evolution-esque here.
All right. Well, let's move on to the main roster of WWE. We just saw her win the title in a battle royal. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the world. I'm getting confused with what they called the titles. I think the Raw one's the World Women's Champion.
The Raw one is the Women's World Heavyweight. The SmackDown is the undisputed WWE Women's Championship.
All right,
that's how it can be undisputed when there's two women's titles, but okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
Again, it's SmackDown, Raw, brand split, LOL. Anyway,
that in of itself
call
is
it the Raw and SmackDown women's titles.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're talking about the Raw one that Becky just won in a battle royal. So we're gonna start with Noah. Who do you think beats Becky for this?
Okay. Well, considering the draft was just accomplished, and the fact that Lyra Valkyria got the NXT Women's Championship from Becky Lynch, I think it'll be a beautiful full circle moment to see that happen at Clash of way too soon. So I'm not going to do that because I think that's one, way too obvious. Two, she needs to earn that. Looking at this women's division on Monday Night Raw, well, she's babyface, so I got to pick a heel if that's the case. Would they actually hold out this long? Because I don't think they had Becky leading the ship in the first place. I almost want to say her, but I don't think they're going to do that. And I definitely don't think it's going to be Liv Morgan. I'm just going to say that for the record. I don't think it's going to be her. Damn. Okay. I'm going to go with, because I know Liv Morgan's challenging next. She's going to lose. Rhea Ripley's out for a while. Lyra Valkyria is going to be on the scene, but it's not like she's going to be, immediately thrusted into it. Nia Jax is gone. Fuck, who else do they have there? I think Dupree would be a nice one, but I don't think Becky needs to go gaga, so I don't want Becky to turn heel.
A certain somebody just got drafted that beat Becky before, so just putting that out there.
Yeah,
or that Becky beat. Let me say that Becky beat for the NXT title. So
I know I said that initially. Look, what's my biggest gripe about WWE Women's Division? They don't have enough single stars built and defined. But Becky Lynch did show me something. She said to Maxine, you show them this was your first and it won't be your last. As long as she's babyface, I don't think it will be Maxine Dupree, but I would love to see her reach that point. But I'm going to go with Ivy Nile. I want to see Ivy Nile finally ascend beyond mid-card oblivion and lead this women's division. She's got all the talent, she's got all the skills, she's got all the attitude. And if they ain't going to give it to Shayna Baszler, then I say do it for Ivy Nile, because as far as I'm concerned, Ivy Nile does not need to be a women's tag team partner to Maxine Dupree. I'm going with Ivy Nile, holding out for her first.
All right, Ivy Nile. All right. That's a kind of an out of the blue one, but that seemed to be the theme that JJ started here. But JJ, what say you? Who beats Becky for this title?
I definitely have Lyra on my radar. I don't know if they do it at. They wouldn't do it at Clash at the Castle. I definitely feel that's too soon. I could see that being a Mania moment, but I don't want Becky holding that shit till Mania.
Yeah, about to say,
God,
JJ,
please no.
I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to get her off the title before the end of the year, bro.
Yeah, like I have a feeling she's gonna lose to whoever wins Money in the Bank. I think whoever gets the briefcase is gonna cash in on Becky.
So you think it's gonna be a Raw superstar?
No, not necessarily.
I think you can cash on any champion.
Because the Money in the Bank briefcase you can do on either title.
That's right. They restored that. Thank Christ. You're right. I forgot about that. They restored that. Thank goodness. Continue.
So, with that being said, it theoretically could even be a SmackDown talent crossing brands to cash in. And with that being said,
I know where he's going.
What time is it, everybody?
It's Tiffy time. I did think about the Money in the Bank briefcase being non-brand exclusive, considering, again, Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch defined the Men's Women's Championship for the better part of fall last year.
Yeah. And let's be real, with the reactions she's getting, Tiffany deserves to be on Raw.
Yeah.
She gets babyface's reactions even though she's a heel.
Yeah.
Now, for the time being, if I have to keep it brand exclusive, taking Money in the Bank out of the picture, I could see Kiana James getting built up.
Yeah.
I feel like she has everything at her disposal. I think she's got all the tools. She just needs the right push.
Yeah, she does.
Right setup. Yeah, go right launch.
Because unfortunately, the majority of the women that they've got on the roster are tag team people. You know, you've got Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. You've got Asuka and Kairi. You've got Ivy, Maxine. You've got Kaden and Katana. You've got Shayna and Zoe.
Damn it.
Like, the only singles stars that you currently have are Dakota, Kiana, Liv, Lyra, Natalia, Zelina. And Scarlett, if you want to go there, even though she hasn't wrestled since she returned.
It still pisses me off.
You've got like 5 or 6 women. That's it. You've got a stacked Raw women's division, but you've got a bunch of them that are locked down in tag teams. So unless you break those tag teams up, which then puts strain on the women's tag titles, which Triple H is trying to rebuild.
Right.
So I'm kind of glad that we've got some solidified tag teams there. But, you know, it's like you've got to go with a little bit unexpected here, I think. So brand exclusive, Kiana. Overall, Tiffany.
All right. And none of us really want to see Liv with this damn title. I know that.
No, screw that.
If when Rhea's ready, if you give it to Liv, just so Rhea could beat her ass to get it back, to get her revenge. That way it makes sense, and I'll agree with WWE as to why Liv got it. But you can't give it to her until Rhea's almost ready, which means Becky will potentially have the title for a year, and none of us want that. Because I don't think Rhea's going to be ready for at least a year.
Becky's in case of emergency, break glass. I mean, that's literally what it was. I don't think nobody expected Rhea Ripley to get injured, and unfortunately, that happened.
Becky Lynch is the Brock Lesnar of the women's division. She's the one they just go back to when they have an injury or something they need to do. They just go back to her. So
it's kind of accurate.
They kept doing that with Brock Lesnar, just putting the damn title on them.
And John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena. Yeah, exactly. Hence why he has that title 17 times. Well, not that specific title, but both title. 16. Yeah, sorry, 16.
16 times.
Botch.
Yeah. Been botching on, but I mean, yeah, like you guys said, most of the Raw women's are tagged, so it's like hard to see what they do. Like, I'm just gonna be the asshole out of us and say Liv then, and just pick her. Like, I know that'll get booed and everything. I'm just gonna pick her, but you gotta let them work. But it's just, God, don't let her hold the title until Rhea's ready, and Rhea probably won't be ready for another year if she needs surgery. Like, hopefully she can rehab it and not need as long as time. But you know, JJ keeps saying it. Like, it's funny that Dom is hurt, but he gets to travel and Rhea has to go away. But I think that has more to do with because she's going to return as a face, if anything, and they don't want that to happen to Dom, because anytime anybody gets injured and anytime somebody goes away, when they come back, look at Triple H in 02, no matter what. He was a heel, he was an asshole. What happened when he came back? He became like one of the biggest baby faces there are. Hence, it only lasted like a month or so because he went right back to his old ways. But anybody goes away, no matter who they are, for a little while, out of mind, out of sight, you forget who the character was. And when they come back, they automatically cheered. So I think that's the main reason. They just don't want Dom getting cheered.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I say Liv, but not reluctantly, just because the next title we're going to talk about is what I think JJ scenario is really going to happen. But it doesn't have to be brand. It doesn't have to be brand exclusive, but I feel like that's what they're working for. And I think she is winning the Money in the Bank. So I'll just spoil mine. I'm saying Tiffany's going to be the one to defeat Bayley for the WWE. That's an old picture, too. I picked the SmackDown title. SmackDown title, but I was kind of rushing. But yeah, so I say Tiffany wins this title via the Money in the Bank. Just catch it. Just don't do the. I don't want. WWE has had a tradition with the last like 3 or 4 years. Whoever wins Money in the Bank catches it on the same damn night when it comes to women. Like, we haven't really had since maybe Alexa Bliss or we haven't had someone carry the. No, even Alexa Bliss did it on the same night, didn't she? Mm-hmm. We haven't really had a woman carry the Money in the Bank and like develop heat towards herself before she cashes in. They've all been cashing it in on the same damn night that they win it. So can Tiffany do that and just be, because I want to see that run with Tiffany with the Money in the Bank and just carrying it every week and getting even more and more popular until she finally cashes it in. So, but my pick is going to be Tiffany doing that. Go ahead, JJ.
Io carried it for about a month or so before cashing it in and becoming champion.
Yeah, she did. But aside from that, a lot of people just, I don't know what it is. They've been cashing in the same night they won with the women, but I'm gonna go to JJ. So JJ, what say you? Who beats Bayley for this title?
Again, like, I know it sounds cheap, but I always come down to 2. There's a bunch of people on the roster that it could be, but I come down to 2. You know, my dark horse is somebody that I know Noah would pop big time for. And that's the top Gadgeon, Blair Davenport, taking it away from Bayley.
Queen's Quest just got drafted.
But in reality, with the way I see the storylines and everything going, I think it's going to be Naomi.
As a heel, or she stays face?
I'm not really sure how they're going to play it, but how long is Naomi going to be okay with the, oh, it's okay, bestie, you lost type of mentality.
Yeah.
Especially with the other two members of her group having so much success.
Exactly. So if Naomi can become champion, and then you got Bianca and Jade with their gold,
Oh, good Lord.
man,
Mm,
dominance.
Personified.
I'm here for it.
And then you have them walking through the back and bump into the Pride, and it's like, we've got gold, y'all don't. Like, what the hell?
Damn.
That'd be pretty funny.
Not gonna lie, that kind of would be pretty funny.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Naomi. I have a feeling that over the next months, whether it's a full-blown heel turn or not, we're going to see a little bit more aggression out of Naomi, a little bit more of a fighting competitive spirit, because to Datilla's point, she's basically been a jobber since coming back at the Rumble.
Pretty much. She's just been thrown in this group as the Ric Flair version of their evolution. Just to be the one that's been there the longest, that has the most experience, so to lead them into it. But yeah, she's pretty much been jobbing ever since she came back. So yeah, Noah, what do you think?
Well, again, it's still so up in the air because the draft officially starts, and the only people we've seen regarding the women's championship on SmackDown is Nia, Tiffany, Naomi. Two are heels, one's a face. You already have a baby face, and we already know they're going to run back Nia Jackson Bailey. Let's just call it as we see it. They're going to run that back. Definitely not her. Please no. Naomi, I can see her, becoming that desperate, going heel, becoming maybe the new Naomi, like Daniel Bryan became the new Daniel Bryan and beat AJ Styles for the championship, became the world champion. But I just don't know. I actually still am holding out for Tiffany Stratton. I think they really could do Tiffany Stratton versus Bailey. And I do think that she used the Money in the Bank briefcase to beat Bailey. I think Tiffany's going to focus on the SmackDown side because I understand the whole briefcase thing being, not brand's exclusive. But I just think that Tiffany right now has more of a focus on Bailey and that title than she does on Becky and the other title. Besides, Becky's already got enough to deal with. We know that Mommy's going to come back because Becky says she'll be waiting. Liv Morgan's not going to stop until she breaks Becky like she break Rhea. And then you have everyone else in the tag team. Blair Davenport, she's the biggest unknown and she's the biggest unproven. The only way Blair Davenport beats Bailey, in my opinion, is if she uses Money in the Bank. Because Money in the Bank should be somebody that people don't expect. You create somebody out of nothing. Tiffany Stratton's already a made star. All right, it's Tippy time all the time. That's why I think right now they're going to let Bailey roll this for a while, but she doesn't lose it until Money in the Bank. And I'm still holding out right now on Tiffany Stratton. I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, pretty much the consensus. All right, so we're going to move on to the World Heavyweight. This one's kind of pretty obvious what they're doing as well, but they could swerve us because it is the Triple H era. So we never know what they're going to do. So I'll go first on this because I'm going to say the obvious. I think he's going to hold on till they get to Scotland. And, of course, Drew McIntyre is going to win this title so that it leads to eventual rivalry between him and Punk. So I say Drew wins the World Heavyweight Championship. But what say you, Noah? We'll go right back to you.
I kind of don't want it to be that obvious, especially with how many times Drew McIntyre has been screwed by CM Punk. I think it'll just be icing on the cake that Drew McIntyre loses in Scotland because of CM Punk. And this time, the audience don't hate it because the audience might like CM Punk more than Drew McIntyre. I think you add more heat. I think Damian Priest deserves a chance to run with this title a little longer than just literally 2 months, if we're being honest here, because Clash of the Castle is next month, guys. That's 2 months since he's won the championship. How about we give Damian Priest a chance, especially if this dissension among Judgment Day dissolves the group and he goes on his own? I'm not going to go with Drew McIntyre at this point. I'm not. I'm actually going to go a different direction, and I know proverbially Drew McIntyre is heel, so Damian Priest, you have to consider, is face. If Damian Priest removes himself from the Judgment Day, you got to consider him a face. Mm-hmm. I'm going out further. to Austria at Bash Berlin. I'm going with Gunther. I think this is how Gunther gets his first World Championship accolade. And we finally see Monday Night Raw become sacred. There's a reason that Gunther was #1 draft pick the second night on the WWE Draft for Monday Night Raw. And there's also a reason why right now he's not involved in the Intercontinental Championship picture. But he very well might be our next King of the Ring. I'm going with the Ring General Gunther to dethrone Damian Priest. Hopefully at Bash in Berlin.
Yeah. All right, JJ. Yep, that's not a bad pick at all. Gunther getting that title, and we all know we want him with the reign of that championship and making that another prestigious title. And you don't want to go from Seth having this long title run and defending the titles to Damian Priest just having it for 2 months. So I do get your point, Noah. But what do you say, JJ?
That is a good question.
He's cooking.
I am cooking because, like you, Drew McIntyre taking it in Scotland seems kind of obvious. But like we already discussed today, sometimes predictability is good.
Damn it.
Letting Drew get that moment in front of his family and his friends in his home country it's just that, it's a moment. Even as a heel, but he's not going to be a heel when he goes to Scotland.
No.
Much like the first Clash of the Castle, we may even get some Broken Dreams action.
That's the only way I see him winning. If that music plays, that's the only way I see Drew winning. I'll say that right now. If I hear that, I will declare Drew the winner.
I said it on a previous stream that if they do bring that back, they should only bring it out for that one time in Scotland for his home people, and then as a FU to everybody else, don't play it anymore. Just that one time Drew did that, because I could see Drew getting away with that. Like, I only did that for Scotland. You people don't
I could see him trolling us.
Yeah.
You know, dun, 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 dun. Yep. And then kick right into the like everyone would be like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a way to get some heat on him in his home country.
Mm-hmm.
But much like Noah threw out there and let it cook, I could see Punk costing him the match in Scotland. And then we get to SummerSlam, and it's a triple threat. Priest versus Punk versus McIntyre.
Oh, my.
And I could see the Second City Saint walking out, your new world heavyweight champion.
Ooh. Okay, JJ.
And then Noah wants a banger. Punk versus Gunther at Bash in Berlin.
And Drew cost him.
I don't think they would do the change that quickly.
Yeah, I could hold out. I just want Gunther to be the champion, because Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov over the World Heavyweight Championship, WrestleMania 41.
But I could see Gunther winning the Rumble next year.
He should, damn it.
And then let Gunther get that moment in Vegas where he finally ascends.
Vegas? Why you say Vegas?
Because it is official. April 19th and April 20th. WrestleMania 41, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas.
Oh, shit.
I'm celebrating 420 in Vegas. Lookout world.
Oh, God help.
Yeah, for real. For real. If they do not book Rob Van Dam for WrestleMania on 420, what the hell? Sin City on 420.
This is just
Let's go.
This is hell on earth. This is the day the world goes to hell. Just saying. Sin City 420 WrestleMania. God help any good soul there.
Let's just book Liv Morgan, Matt Riddle, RVD, and Jeff Hardy all in a match together.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Let me comment. Let me be the commentary on that match.
If I don't go.
That's assuming we have a commentary team if
Right?
the entire multiverse is there, we're not going to have a watch along.
Exactly.
That's true. Will Las Vegas be my first WrestleMania? God help me.
Our watch, instead of a watch along, we might have to do a big like review after all together on a stream together instead of watch
Yeah, in the
along. We might
hotel
all
room.
have to.
I'll be
Yeah.
the only one sober. God. But anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And to the point that Safet just threw in there, Easter Sunday is 420 next year also.
Oh
Oh,
my
God.
God.
I literally just Googled that to make sure that's legit, and that is legit.
Wow.
WrestleMania Sunday, Easter Sunday, 420.
I don't know about a resurrection, but I might need resuscitation after my celebration over there.
Lord help us next year in April.
All right. So,
Well, that.
wow. I didn't expect to go an hour and 40 minutes on this, but we finally reached the end here. Like, wow. I didn't expect this video to be this long.
I'm going to be honest. I expected it to be longer. That's why I carved out a 3-hour block for us.
I'm glad we're doing it underneath the 2-hour mark, personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, we may not have watch long coverage if everybody is there.
Exactly. But yeah, we're gonna move on. We got one, of course, title left. We got one champion left. So we're gonna go out to JJ first. Like, who do we say cuts the story off, rips the book in half, and says no more story? Get the hell out of here, Cody. Who beats Cody for this WWE Championship? Undisputed, whatever the hell they're calling it.
It's just the WWE Championship. They've dropped Universal and they've dropped Undisputed.
Thank Christ. Yeah, don't encourage such bad behavior.
Man,
back to this.
Who is going to be the man?
And when?
Again, this is so hard for me because there's part of me that wants Cody to hold it until Mania till next year. Because I feel like he deserves it. But I don't want another year plus title reign for the world title.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we don't know what the landscape would even look like next year.
And I'm almost positive we're going to set up to get Rock Roman next year. Which, holy hell, if that's going to be on at WrestleMania, yes, please.
God almighty.
Oh my God, imagine all of us there live to see that. Oof.
And that match, as I've said all along, doesn't need the title. So we don't need to give it to Rock. We don't need to give it to Roman. So then who? I've seen one name mentioned in the chat that I agree with. I'm not going to say which one yet. For this one, for me, it comes to 3. It comes down to the name in the chat, Randy Orton. You know, the mentor dethroned the student. And you could, you know, the WrestleMania this year was very much Avengers Endgame based.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Cody go full heel, but I could see if people start to get tired of him like they were in AEW, maybe just get a little bit of that darkness come out of here and we could go a little Star Wars here in honor of May the 4th today. You know, last time we met, I was but the student. Now I am the master.
I have surpassed your legacy.
You know, words that Vader said to Obi-Wan in the original A New Hope. So that you could do that whole angle there and kind of make it Star Wars-esque. Then you could have John Cena, much to Emmanuel's chagrin, come back to get his 17th title And of course, WWE will talk about how he's surpassed Ric Flair's records, even though we know via AEW that he's more like a 24-time champion and not a 16-time champion. So he wouldn't really be surpassing it, but as far as WWE is concerned.
Right.
And then there's the man who I think might actually do it. And especially if he does it at WrestleMania, he's going to have everybody saying,
LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that would be a moment. The megastar beats the American
keep
Nightmare.
babyface momentum for being the. I think you're gonna have that issue of, like I said, that when Trick loses the title, the hate that people are gonna get, they might hate on you for beating Cody.
I don't think so. I don't think they'd hate on LA Knight. And then you can kind of bookend Cody's reign. His first opponent was AJ Styles, who really rose to prominence in NWA Wildside and NWA TNA.
Mm.
And it's ended by a man who was managed by Percy Pringle III in NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
LA Knight also is no stranger to, the audience, calling the audience dummy. Yeah. I mean, LA Knight could come in as the heel if Cody Rhodes doesn't solely go heel. But if LA Knight has more of a momentum with the audience has to make a choice, then is that what breaks Cody's psyche, to JJ's point? I like that a lot.
So I think I'm going to officially go with LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we let JJ cook, and I think he made us a full course meal there.
As he always does.
All right, so what say you, Noah?
Well, it's one of those things where I do wonder how this story is written and when does it get to its climax and its final chapter in this continued saga of the American Nightmare. Because I don't think Cody's run is one and done, but I am curious where it goes from here when he drops the title. And that's the thing you got to think about. Again, I think it's safe to say during this run, he's going to deal with the bloodline. So Dakota is going to try and find a way to face Cody Rhodes for this. We know the final boss is coming back after him, title or no title. That's a whole different conversation. You can even preferably put out there that maybe Roman Reigns will one day face Cody Rhodes again in a WWE ring. But the fact that he's put LA Knight out there, another favored by the people, the mega star, People's Choice for 2023, I do like that a lot. But again, it's like we talked about. We don't know what the landscape is going to look like. And we don't know how to tail end this. Who else is going to come in? Who else is going to rise up? Who else is going to be brought in from NXT and arrive on the main roster WWE scene? I also think about people with that same level of intensity, drive, adrenaline, etc. I know I was talking about Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov earlier, but something to me right now kind of wants to see Ilya Dragunov be the guy to beat Cody Rhodes because of how intense Ilya is, how much he puts his family on his shoulder, and just how far I know Ilya will push Cody Rhodes, and if Cody Rhodes can hang or will he be burned by the Mad Dragon. So just to be a little different, but also go with somebody that I feel no matter what, the people are going to respect tremendously because of what he brings in that ring. I'm going to go with Ilya Dragunov being the guy to beat Cody Rhodes because I don't think Ilya is going to just strictly be on Raw. And if you know what I know, especially if we're going to go to WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber and Royal Rumble have a whole different say on what you can see at WrestleMania 41. I'm going to go with Ilya Dragunov.
Nice. I know you said it, JJ, that you're tired of the long title reign, but do you necessarily do this with Cody? But I think they do this with Cody, and Gunther wins the Royal Rumble, and that's how you get Gunther back on SmackDown. You can change brands because you can challenge any winner when you win the Royal Rumble. Correct. So I think Gunther does that, and he gets it in Vegas. But like you said about the other title, but I think he goes and challenges Cody for the WWE Championship. And hopefully we're all there live to see it. But Gunther winning in Vegas and defeating Cody, the story began at WrestleMania or ended at WrestleMania, and now a new story, Gunther's story, begins at WrestleMania 41. So I say Gunther. I think Cody holds on to this. And now watch us all be wrong, and they give it to Rock at SummerSlam. I mean, the one we don't want, which we don't want to happen. But I mean,
whether they're not.
I know, but like that pop that Gunther, I think Gunther would actually get a babyface reaction after that if he did that. I know I said I worried about the heat, that somebody could take the heat of beating Cody, but Gunther might get the react, because it's like no matter Gunther's character, we all want to see him eventually reach that level. For him to finally do that in Vegas at WrestleMania 41, and then it's like a full-born, we keep saying the word story, but and I'm actually tired of that moniker, but the story began and ended all at WrestleMania for Cody, and then maybe he can get a little break after that and go away for a little bit, and we can see what happens next year. But so my official pick will be Gunther, but he's got to win the Royal Rumble to be able to switch brands again, unless, brand split, nobody cares about it. But that's how I say.
That's fair. Third time the charm for Gunther, by the way. I mean, let's think about it. It was literally last year's Royal Rumble. He and Cody were the last two. It was this year's Royal Rumble. He was part of the last three. I think he literally is just one step away from winning.
Yeah. So we did it. We've reached the end. So I'm gonna play a short video of where you can follow all of us on the different social medias, and then when we come back, we do our shills and we'll get out of here, because our night is far from over, folks. Way far from over. So we'll be right back after the short video.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
All right, so JJ, we'll start with you, and go ahead and plug what you got to plug, sir.
Well, as you can see right there, coming up at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, kicks off a retro double feature of the dads not always on wrestling, as we transition from the wrestling portion of today into the Star Wars portion for May the 4th Be With Us. The show that brought me and Jeff back in 2020, 4 years ago to the day, Jeff and I ranked the Star Wars saga, all 11 films that were theatrically released live action movies. And then kicking off at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, will be the episode from last year where Jeff and I discuss our top 10 favorite characters from the Star Wars saga. And of course, all that is going to lead into the Saturday night shenanigans that are open mic night, where we will be doing our version of Jeopardy, and it'll all be Star Wars trivia. Renegade Trebek is your host, as I have written the questions. I have sent them to Noah. He has generated the board and will be producing that segment of the show. Of course, open mic night kicks off 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern, as always on Saturdays. A splendid time is guaranteed for all. And again, may the 4th be with all of you.
Yeah, may the 4th be with us all. That's going to be very, very fun. So Noah, what do you have? Well, I'm sorry, we don't have the graphic. I don't even have my own graphic, so slack it on me. But go ahead, Noah.
Well, I mean, you did just show that little trailer where everyone can follow us. That's why I didn't do that part of it.
Yeah, exactly. That being said, I don't really have much to plug. I mean, again, taking it easy. Again, I'll be producer man behind the scenes for tonight's Star Wars Jeopardy. Of course, regular panels up at Might Night. City Predicting will return with King and Queen of the Ring. Then we got NXT Battleground. We got AEW Double or Nothing. Ring of Honor yet to be determined. Next watch-along event that my boys will be used for, of course, you'll see me and JJ James and some combination of us calling New Japan Resurgence, which is literally 1 week from today. And as always, I still wish to encourage you to just do live and enjoy professional wrestling too. It's truly as simple as that. It's been a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, it's been a fun. I can't wait till the next time we get the three of us to get together. We're going to do the top 10. One of us has to be the one that doesn't know what's going on. So, Noah, if we could work something out, you'll be the one. But JJ and I are going to work on the top 10 impactful TNA debuts. So, and then we'll get your thoughts. You won't know the list. Him and I will put the list together, and then we'll get your natural list, your natural reactions there. And for me, all of our shills are actually scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. I forgot I had that banner in there. So I may not show the graphic, but all of our YouTubes, all of our, any of our Instagrams, anything like that, you can follow us there. So for the Renegade JJ Williams, for the Simple Man Noah Foster, I have been Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.